X was sitting at the kitchen table, his small legs swinging rhythmically as he focused intently on his drawing. Nearby, his father paced back and forth, speaking on the phone, something he often did when handling important business calls. Before we go further, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Back to the story. Yes, I get it. It's a charity function for kids, his father said into phone. But why are you asking for my son to speak? X's ears perked up. He loved chatting with people. Even at just 5 years old, he had a reputation for speaking his mind freely. His teachers frequently describe him as refreshingly honest. He's only 5, his father continued. I'm not sure he's ready to speak in front of such a large crowd. X set his crayon down and looked up. I can do it, Dad. I love talking, he declared. His father turned toward him, surprised. After a short pause to think, he returned to his phone conversation. Well, he does seem eager. Let me think it over and get back to you. As soon as the call ended, X eagerly bombarded his father with questions. Who was that? Where will I talk? Will there be other kids? That was someone from a children's charity, his father explained. They're planning a big televised event next week focused on what makes kids happy. They'd like you to share your thoughts. X's eyes lit up with excitement. On real TV? Will everyone see me? Maybe a lot of people, yes, his father answered carefully. But you don't have to do this unless you want to. I want to. I have so many things I want to say. X exclaimed, nearly knocking over his juice in his enthusiasm. Later that night, during a video call, X's father explained everything to his mother. She was hesitant at first, but eventually agreed that it could be a valuable experience. Just make sure you're prepared, she warned. You know he sometimes says surprising things. That's part of what makes him unique, his father said proudly. But don't worry, we'll go over everything he wants to talk about. Over the next few days, the two of them spent time preparing. X's father helped him think about what brought him happiness and how to share that with others. They practiced in front of a mirror, with X standing on a small stool to simulate being at a podium. You'll be speaking to a big audience, but just be yourself, his father advised. Talk about what makes you happy. X nodded seriously. Like my school, my friends, and the robots we build. Exactly, just like that. As the big day approached, X became more and more excited. He told everyone at school about his upcoming TV appearance. His teachers were supportive, though they exchanged amused glances when X said he was going to tell the world important things. The night before the event, X had trouble falling asleep. He twisted and turned in bed, his mind full of ideas about what he wanted to say. There was one thing in particular, something that had recently happened at school, that made him very happy. He hadn't told his father yet, and wondered if he should talk about it during the broadcast. Dad, he called out, knowing his father was still up working in the next room. His father appeared in the doorway. Yes, buddy? Can't sleep? I'm thinking about tomorrow. I want to talk about something special that happened at school. What is it? His father asked, sitting beside him on the bed. X hesitated. It's a surprise. Can I keep it a surprise for everyone? His father looked a bit unsure, but then smiled. As long as it's something kind and appropriate. Okay, but maybe tell me first. It is nice, X assured him. It's about my friend and Jesus. His father raised an eyebrow, curious, but nodded. All right, now get some sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. Neither of them knew that the surprise X had in mind would soon become a viral moment online. The morning of the event came with a flurry of activity. X woke up earlier than usual, too excited to stay in bed. He dressed in his special outfit, a crisp button-up shirt, and a little bow tie his father had picked out just for the occasion. Do I look like someone who talks on TV? X asked, spinning around to show off his clothes. His father smiled. You look perfect. Ready for today? X nodded eagerly. I practiced my speech in my head all night. All night? I thought you were asleep, his father said, surprised. I was pretend sleeping. X replied with a cheeky grin. The drive to the venue took longer than expected due to traffic. X stared out the window, watching tall buildings zip by as his anticipation grew. Inside the venue, the air buzzed with movement. Crew members scurried around with clipboards, tested microphones, and adjusted stage lights. X looked around wide-eyed. Wow, so many people. A woman wearing a headset approached them. You must be X. We're thrilled you're here. You'll go on right after the host gives the opening remarks. X nodded seriously. I'm ready. I have important things to say. She smiled warmly. I bet you do. We'll come get you when it's time. They were led to a waiting area where other speakers, mostly adults, were getting ready. A few other children were there too. X made an effort to talk to everyone, introducing himself with cheerful confidence and asking questions about their presentations. What are you going to talk about? He asked a teenage girl who was scanning through her cue cards. I'm speaking about my time volunteering at animal shelters, she replied. X nodded enthusiastically. That's cool. I'm going to talk about love and Jesus. The girl looked a bit surprised, but offered a polite smile. Well, that sounds interesting. As the star of the event drew closer, X's father knelt beside him. Just be yourself out there and speak clearly, he said. If you get a little nervous, just look at me. I'll be right in the front row. I won't be nervous, X replied with the absolute certainty only a 5-year-old could have. I'm excited. The event kicked off with a vibrant opening ceremony. The host, a well-known television personality, welcomed everyone and explained the reason for the gathering. Today we're raising funds to support children's education and well-being. And who better to tell us what children really need than kids themselves? We got some amazing young speakers ready to share their thoughts. Backstage, X bounced lightly on his toes. He listened to the applause that followed each speaker and grew more eager with every clap. At last, it was his moment. And now, the host announced, please welcome our youngest speaker today, 5-year-old X. The crowd responded with warm applause as X stepped onto the stage. A staff member had placed a small platform behind the podium so he could reach the microphone. His father gave him a reassuring thumbs up in the first row. X inhaled deeply and smiled at the crowd. The lights on stage were warm on his face, and he spotted the red light of the camera trained on him. This was it, live television, just like they said. Hi, everyone, he began boldly. My name is X, and I'm 5 years old. Today, I want to talk about something that makes me really happy. The crowd murmured appreciatively at his self-assuredness. X continued, his small voice clear and steady. At school, we learn all sorts of things. We learn our numbers, letters, and how to be kind. But the most special thing that happened to me at school didn't happen during class. He paused, recalling the moment he had been so eager to share. The room grew quiet, leaning in to hear more from this tiny speaker with a big presence. 2 weeks ago, I met a girl in my class named Emma. She had just joined and was sitting by herself during lunch. I asked if I could sit with her, and she said yes. In the audience, his father shifted slightly, realizing this was a surprise his son had mentioned the previous night. Emma and I talk a lot, X went on. She told me her family goes to church every Sunday. I told her sometimes I read Bible stories with my grandma. That made Emma happy. She said she loves Jesus very much. The crowd was silent now, hanging on his every word. Yesterday, Emma and I were playing on the swings. She had on a pretty red dress and a bow in her hair. She pushed me first, then I pushed her. It was really fun. He paused again, locking eyes with the camera. What he said next would soon be replayed countless times across the internet. Emma told me Jesus wants everyone to love each other, X said with growing enthusiasm. And I looked at her and said, Emma, I think I'm in love with you. A soft collective swept through the audience. His father's eyes widened slightly in surprise, but remained fixed in a proud smile. Emma smiled really big and said she loves me too, X continued brightly. Then she gave me half her cookie. It was chocolate chip, my favorite. His face beamed as he relived the moment. We decided we're going to be best friends forever, and we're going to tell everyone about Jesus and love. He looked straight at the camera once more, his expression suddenly more thoughtful. I think being happy means having friends who share cookies and talk about love. Emma says Jesus is love, and I think she's right. The crowd erupted in applause. Some audience members were visibly emotional. dabbing at their eyes, deeply touched by the pure-hearted message. The host stepped back onto the stage, clearly moved. Well, that was truly heartfelt. Thank you, X, for reminding us of what really matters: friendship, kindness, and love. X grinned, waving excitedly at the audience before skipping off stage. His father greeted him with a big embrace. You did amazing, buddy. That was quite the surprise about Emma. I told you it was a good surprise, X said proudly. Did everybody like what I said? I think they loved it, his father replied, though he'd already noticed people in the audience pulling out their phones, no doubt sharing what they had just witnessed. What neither of them knew yet was just how fast X's sweet speech would spread. Within minutes, clips of the moment were circulating on social media. By the time they left the venue, his little love story was already going viral. On the ride home, X chattered nonstop about the experience, unaware of the digital whirlwind surrounding him. Can I call Grandma and tell her I talk about Jesus on TV? She'll be so happy. His father smiled as his phone buzzed with notification after notification. Absolutely. We'll call her as soon as we get home. She's going to be very proud of you. As they pulled into their driveway, a neighbor waved energetically. We just saw X on television. What a sweetheart. X waved back, grinning. I talked about love and Jesus. Inside, his father quickly checked his phone and was stunned by how far the video had spread. Major news outlets were already running articles with headlines like, Son of Tech Tycoon delivers touching love speech on live broadcast, and 5-year-old X captures hearts with innocent love story. Comments were flooding in by the thousands. This is the most wholesome thing I've seen all year. This little guy's got more charm at 5 than I had in my 20s. When he said, I think I'm in love with you, I legit teared up. Emma better realize she's got a catch. Within just a few hours, the clip had racked up millions of views. What began as a simple speech at a charity event had exploded into a viral moment, and it was only gaining momentum. By that evening, social media was completely dominated by reactions to X's speech. Memes, remixes, and emotional reaction videos were circulating at lightning speed. News stations played the footage repeatedly, with commentators marveling at the heartwarming simplicity of X's message. Meanwhile, X remained blissfully unaware of his sudden fame. After dinner, he was sprawled out on the floor, playing with his toys while his father juggled a flood of messages and calls. Dad, can I have some ice cream? X asked, completely unaware of the digital frenzy. Sure, buddy, just a small bowl, his father said, distracted as another alert lit up his screen. As X sat happily enjoying his dessert, his father's phone buzzed again, this time with a call from Emma's parents. They'd seen the broadcast and wanted to reach out. Hello, X's father answered, not sure what to expect. We just wanted to say how lovely we thought X's speech was. Emma's mom said warmly. Emma hasn't stopped smiling since. She's thrilled that her friend mentioned her on TV. X's father let out a relieved sigh. I'm really glad to hear that. X didn't tell me he was going to talk about Emma until last night, and he definitely didn't share the whole story. Kids are full of surprises. Emma's dad chimed in. We think it's adorable, though we didn't expect the level of attention it's gotten. Same here, X's dad replied with a laugh. I never imagined it would blow up like this. After hanging up, he went to find X. Guess what? Emma's parents called. They like what you said. X's face lit up. Is Emma coming over to play? Can we have a play date? We'll plan something soon, his father promised. But for now, you should know, lots of people are talking about your speech. Who? X asked, intrigued. People online. They really love what you said about love and friendship. X nodded seriously. It's important. Emma says we should tell everybody about love, because that's what Jesus wants. By the next morning, the story had taken a new turn. Entertainment shows were now dissecting X's speech. Hosts debated whether children that young could truly grasp the idea of romantic love. Child psychologists were invited to share insights about emotional development in early childhood. One segment in particular caught X's father's eye. A panel of experts was discussing the deeper implications of X mentioning Jesus in his message. It's fascinating to see religious themes intertwined with a young child's understanding of love. one psychologist observed. Kids often associate love with what they're learning about spirituality. Another panelist added, the way he put it, Jesus' love, that's not just adorable, it's profound. He distilled a deeply theological idea into a sentence that resonated with millions. X's father watched all of this unfold with a mix of amusement and apprehension. He'd never expected his son's sweet story to spark such philosophical conversations. When X came down for breakfast, his father showed him a kid-friendly video compilation of people reacting to his speech. X stared wide-eyed. All these people are talking about me. Yep, they really loved what you said, his dad confirmed. X thought for a moment, can I talk on TV again? I have more things I want to say about Emma and Jesus. His father chuckled. Let's take a little break before your next appearance. You're getting pretty famous already. What does famous mean? X asked as he reached for his cereal. It means a lot of people know who you are. X nodded slowly, absorbing the concept. Like Jesus, everyone knows him. Well, not quite that famous, his dad said with a smile, but definitely more people know about you today than they did yesterday. As they ate, the doorbell rang. When his father opened it, a delivery person stood there holding a large bouquet and a small stuffed bear. Delivery for X, they announced. Attached to the gift was a card that read, Dear X, thank you for reminding us all about the importance of love and friendship. From the children's charity. X was thrilled by the teddy bear, but puzzled by the flowers. Why do they send us plants? He asked. It's how people say thank you when they're happy about something. His dad explained. Can we send flowers to Emma? X asked eagerly. That's a sweet idea. We can definitely send her a little gift. What neither of them realized yet was that Emma's family was going through their own whirlwind. Their phone hadn't stopped ringing all morning with interview requests, and Emma had become a bit of a celebrity at school overnight. If you loved this video, hit the subscribe button and like the video. What are your thoughts on this story? Comment below, and remember to share the video with someone you love.